fresh blood of a maiden will be absorbed by the mask. The demonic mask will come to life from the blood of the living. BC 12th to 16th century, the center of Mexico, where Papa tribe dwelled, a tribe known for its sacrificial. It kills people and eats them, also known as the Sun People Aztecs. At the same time, another tribe listed demonic mask dominates the earth. Stone Demon Mask promises them the miracle of eternal life and godly dominance. However, this tribe somehow vanished from history and left countless unknown ruins. Why? What happened to them? What's the secret surrounding the mask? The story depicts the mysterious stone mask from Mexico and its revealing destinies of two power, death, blood. Let me just get a throat lozenge. And that's the basic background for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What better way to start a rip-roaring adventure than sacrificial virgins and having the neighbors for dinner? The actual story begins in the year 1880 in the home of a sick old geezer and his son Dio. As he lays dying, he tells his son of a wealthy man with the family name Joestar, who owes the dying man because he saved him and Joestar's son. He hopes that his own son, Dio, will use this connection to become a rich man himself, which Dio does for his own reasons, not out of his love for his scumbag of a father. But wait, he's not a protagonist. Nope, in fact, he's our antagonist. So don't get too attached to him, or his hair, because he's even more scumbaggy than his father. Hooray for being genetically predispositioned for scumbaggery! Our protagonist is in fact Jonathan Joestar, also known as JoJo, who is shown here nobly getting back a girl's doll. Well, I'm sure his gentle and kind nature will make up for his... yelling at the girl you just helped, and then running away. How charming. Yeah, no, this is supposed to be an endearing character trait that shows that he did this because it's the right thing to do, and not because he was trying to get her to like him. But the fact that he just sort of yelled at her and just walked away was still pretty thoughtless and rude on his part. And though he does mature as the story goes on, he does a couple other things like this that really bug me. And that's why I'm pointing it out here. He's such a charmer. The basic plot, without giving much more away, focuses on Dio coming to live with the Joestar family, and the many conflicts that arise between him and JoJo because of this. The story even goes off into their adulthood, which is where the real adventure for JoJo kicks off. Also, I'm sure that the mask we saw earlier has no importance whatsoever to the story. I think it's time for analyzing now. Art-wise, JoJo can be pretty frickin' intense, having thick dark lines, dramatic angles, and having all of the men built like trains. You heard me. Trains. And I don't mean the sleek, sissy, electric ones. Oh no. I mean the nitty-gritty, coal-powered steel masses that once barreled down the track like horses ripping out of hell, running over anything that got in their way and not even feeling it. That's the kind of trains these guys are built like. Yeah! Ow. However, it's hard to maintain this level of intensity throughout the whole story without it becoming strained and kind of funny at some parts. I mean, I feel like the manga was yelling at me the whole time, even when nothing was going on. Damn it, JoJo, I hate the way you eat! Get out of my sight, you terrible, terrible child! I hate it here. And your mother never wanted you! She did too. Overall, the story is pretty good, but there are a couple of times that I laughed out loud, though I don't know if all of them were intended to be funny by the artist. But it should be noted that the one female character in here, Irina, is really cool. She doesn't have a lot of screen time and really seems to only be there to serve as JoJo's love interest, but she's much more interesting and strong than I was expecting. I hope that later on in the manga she gets more face time. As for the main characters, I really don't have a strong opinion of any of them. We got the hero, funny sidekick, and the cool mentor dude. But since I haven't read all of the chapters, there's probably more to the characters than just that. Except for Dio. Because he's genetically predispositioned for scumbaggery. And there's just nothing he can do about that. Sorry, dude. I'm going to be honest here and admit that I haven't read very far beyond the 23rd chapter of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because it's not exactly my cup of tea in terms of manga, in case you haven't seen any of my other reviews and what it is I normally read, which is, I guess, more girlier things. Now, I don't have anything against shonen manga or boy things. I mean, I grew up on DBZ, and I've enjoyed my fair share of action flicks, and I've played several video games that involve beating the living crap out of someone else. But I think JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is pumped with perhaps just a little bit too much testosterone for me. You know, having more flying body parts and cringe-inducing fight scenes than I'm willing to endure. If that's not something that bothers you, then I'd say go for it, because it's definitely a manga that's gonna really get your blood a-pumping, and it's not bad. You know, it's really cool. I think if I had, you know, a stronger stomach, I would probably actually really enjoy it. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has been published by Viz Media, starting from the 3rd story arc, so I don't think it'll have the particular JoJo that I mentioned in this review. 14 manga have been released thus far, out of over 100, with the story spanning the Joestar family throughout the generations. There have also been 2 OVA adaptations on the Stardust Crusader story arc produced by Studio APPP. There's also a video game made by Capcom for the original PlayStation. Man, this thing is way more popular than I thought it was. I feel like I've been living under a rock. Perhaps something not so unlike JoJo's rock-hard body. Anyways, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is not for the faint of heart or the weak of stomach, but it's a rip-roaring adventure that I think we can all pull at least some sort of enjoyment out of. The art is extremely detailed, eye-catching, and intense, though sometimes it can go a little bit overboard in all 3 of these attributes. If you don't like the characters, don't worry, because they'll be traded out for a new batch eventually. Isn't that right, Mr. Mask?